What's up, everybody? Jared here, and today we are on our way to go help Kevin. I'm meeting him at a buddy shop that has some tire equipment, and the reason we're meeting there is because we are going to sipe and possibly groove Kevin's tires on his truck. So Kevin has some mud terrain tires, and they are absolutely horrible in the snow, slush, ice, anything like that. They are probably half worn. They have next to no siping in them whatsoever. Like, every other outside lug has the tiniest little groove cut into it. But even just taking off from a stoplight, he says he just spins and almost can't take off. He pulled into our driveway the other day, started backing up and almost slid into my new trailer. Pulling out of the driveway, slid almost clear across the road into the mailbox. He has several hundred pounds of sand tubes in his bed. Even if four-wheel drive, I mean, they're just horrible. So I was telling him about this tool that I had purchased, and I'll put a link down in the description of this tool, and it is called the Ideal Tire Groover. This thing uses blades that you can invert or flip over. It's basically a large heating iron, kind of like a soldering iron, but the blades are a U-shaped. So if you run them upside down like a U, then you can scoop out and groove out a lug and put extra grooves in a tire. If you flip it over and make it more like an N, then the prongs pointing down, you can slice right through and create sipes in lugs. Now, sipes are nothing but slits, and they are super advantageous when it comes to snow and ice, as among other things. They really don't have many detriments other than if you're super hard on your tires as far as rocks, stuff like that, then you may not have the structural stability of the lug. But I know mud guys and seen videos of rock crawler guys that sipe their tires, and they don't have any problems at all. But they do not decrease wear because they allow the tire to run cooler, but they allow a little bit of extra flex, which is great on the ice, but they also kind of create this little suction effect, as well as they will allow snow to get packed in between them. So traction on snow does not come from rubber to snow friction. Traction on snow really comes from snow on snow friction. So that's why snow tires have not only sipes, throughout the whole tire, which is more for ice, but also they have the smallest little tons of grooves everywhere. And that is so snow will pack in there and then provide snow to snow friction to keep you moving, help you stop, all of the above. So that's why snow getting packed into your tires is excellent for on-road traction. Now, this obviously has nothing to do whatsoever with driving through deep drifts, way out on a snow mountain or anything. We're talking normal driving, even, backwoods lane and stuff. Grooves and sipes help tremendously. So sorry for the ramble, but long story short, that's what we're doing today. We decided to meet at this buddy's shop because we are going to take his tires off, his wheels and tires off one by one, slap them on the balancing machine just so we can make it easy to work. Having on the balancer will allow us to sit there and sipe and groove the tire and quickly spin it without having to deal with it either on the ground, rolling it, or leaving it mounted on the truck. It'll lift it, elevate it a little bit, put it at a better height for us, and then once again we can just spin it and rotate it as we want to work on it. So this is the first time I'm using the tire groover since I bought it. I have used a tire groover just like this in the past, but I purchased this months ago with the intent on siping and grooving my R4 tires that were on my tractor. But if you've seen some of my recent videos, I actually decided to trade those in towards a set of big Titan Turf tires, which I absolutely love. So I never did end up using this tool, never siped or grooved my tractor tires. So today's first day we're going to use it. I'm going to throw some sipes in Kevin's lugs and see how it does. It was 51 degrees here yesterday. Today it's dropping. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches between today and tomorrow, as well as it rained yesterday. It is misty and rainy today, so it's probably going to generate some ice conditions. So over the next day or two, Kevin should really be able to tell whether or not this has helped him. So continue on the drive, and we'll get started with the siping and grooving. All right, so here's the ideal gun with the brass tip and a handful of blades, which are available in different sizes. These are just the factory blades that came with it. Going to insert the tip first with the flat spot up towards the set screw. Now, this brass piece does two things. First of all, obviously, it's holding the blade and transferring the heat, but the instructions say it does a little bit of preheating on the tire before the blades actually get to it. So that's actually going to touch the tire and kind of preheat it as we go along. And here is one of the blades and how I was telling you how they were shaped, where you could run it upside down if you wanted to groove, or run it the other way if you want to sipe. Now, we're more concerned with sipes right now, and not knowing how long this is going to take. We're going to set this up to sipe only first, and then if we feel like it and want to, then we'll go back and set it up to groove and throw some grooves in there. Now, your depth of cut is purely set by how far you set that below the brass tip. That's it. All right, let's plug it in.
Like, you can't even tell that it's there.
So you can rock, yeah, that way you get a little deeper and run right along that same angle.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes right through it. It's crazy. I was envisioning it being more open like this, like melting an actual, but I mean, now I know, which once all the weight's on the road, those will, they'll open up. That's crazy.
And if you see that black stripe,
Yeah.
that's that preheating
Yeah,
part.
it's getting hot.
Yep. Softening the rubber a little bit before the other pieces come through. All right, we are done. I'm pulling out of my buddy's house here. It took us total from pulling the truck in to having the tires back on, backing out, lift, tires torqued, 2 hours, 40 minutes maybe. So the first tire we did, it took us, I believe, right around 43 minutes to complete. Now that included, we were just figuring out what pattern we wanted to go, had to wait for the gun to heat up a little bit. We weren't really efficient with it. The second tire took 25 minutes. The third and fourth tire took probably less than 20 minutes each. So we got progressively faster. We were hoping to be able to complete it in 2 hours. Now, overall, well, 2 hours, we thought it'd take us about a half hour per tire. So not counting getting it up on the lift and taking it off the lift and all of that. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the time, but I just wanted to give you that feedback. So if you're getting ready to do the same, you can accommodate roughly for that. Now, if you're doing a tractor tire, something like that, it's going to take you a lot longer than that. And if you're doing something smaller, it should be faster. But those were 33 1250s and quite a few lugs, and we hit each lug twice, 2 swipes. So like I said, I'm going to say on average 25 minutes roughly per tire to sight, which I did not think was bad at all. So as you see from the video, we did nothing but sight. We did not groove any of the tires. Some of them probably could have used it. They're getting pretty wore down. He plans on buying new tires anyways, but we wanted to see if we can make these last through winter. But one of the 2 reasons why we did not end up grooving them. Number one, we're kind of running short on time today, but more importantly, we wanted to be able to compare the difference between siping and grooving. So if we did both of them at the same time, we would have absolutely no idea which one was helping the most. If we do the siping first, we'll get to see how much of an improvement that made. And then if he feels like it's not enough and he wanted to try the extra step of grooving, then we'll take the time and I'll meet up with him again and we'll groove them. We'll throw a groove. The way we were talking, we're thinking like, maybe every other lug staggered, something like that. Not necessarily hitting and grooving every single lug there. But this will give us a good real test as to how siping performs all by itself without grooves and on pretty wore out tires. Only one of them had some of the factory tiny little, it's bigger than what I would call a sipe, but the tiny little factory grooves. Only one of the 4 tires still had those. The other ones were wore down pretty much. I mean, they still had, gosh, probably at least 3/16 to 1/4 inch tread chunks. So, it's not like they were bald, but yet all of the factory little grooving was gone. So I wish we could find a place or a way that we could have done some testing, and be able to show you something, on the road, him skidding versus, before and after. A little side by side just passed me. But yeah, I'm just not going to be able to do that. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to take Kevin's word for it. He's going to test it and we'll know for sure. I mean, he said the truck is to the point where it was scary unsafe with the tires the way they were. He just had no confidence whatsoever in them. So if he comes back and says at all that he has gained confidence, then we'll know that they definitely helped. But he said he should be able to tell within the next couple of days since we have bad weather coming in. It is raining right now, but every few drops, I can tell it's an ice ball. So it is 31 degrees out, is what my truck says. So it's already starting to freeze. So if I get feedback from him in time, I will append it and it'll be part of this video. But if for some reason it's not part of the video, please know that I promise I will do a short little, just 30-second, 1-minute video or something in the very near future to let you know how that worked. But I don't want to hold this video up just for his feedback right away, in case there are other people out there that are wanting to do this since we're heading into winter. But guys, thank you very much for hanging around, going through that, and do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Sure, you've heard this over and over, you know, and that's the only way you get notified of new videos is if you hit the little bell and turn that on. So drop me a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. All right, hey guys, so I did go ahead and hold off on publishing this video so I could get some feedback from Kevin, and his results are nothing short of amazing. In his own words, he says he feels like he has new tires. Even though they are worn down pretty good and they need replaced, he says his traction's amazing. Places that he would normally slide through a stop sign, he can now stop. Where he would previously need 4-wheel drive to crawl out of, go up a hill, he can now do in 2-wheel drive. Spinning out on wet asphalt, where he could normally do it and not grip and keep his tires spinning as long as he wanted to, will now grip within 40 to 50 feet, and he can't make them spin over. So it's been a huge improvement. This may or may not be for you. It's going to be dependent upon your tires, but as you can see, it's a great thing to do, and it definitely helped out his situation. And to be honest with you, there's almost no negative feedback at all. This reduces tire temp, so it actually does help make tires last longer. But sorry, don't mean to ramble. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching the video, and hope this helped you out.